Go ahead, sir. You may call your next witness.
Defense calls Heather R. Reamer.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. If you would please make your way to the witness stand. When you get there, please remain standing. Raise your right hand. It is up a riser. Be mindful of that. And then my clerk, Teresa, is ready.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Thank you, ma'am. Please have a seat. The first thing I will ask you to do is to state your first and last names for the record and then spell each.
Heather Reamer, Heather Riemer.
Thank you. Go ahead, sir, your witness.
Good afternoon, Ms. Reamer. How are you feeling today?
I'm okay.
I want to direct your attention to the evening of November 21st of 2021. Do you recall what you were doing that evening?
I was at the Waukesha Christmas parade.
And do you recall who you were with at the parade?
I was with my husband and 3 friends and one of their children.
About what time, if you recall, did you and your family arrive?
Right before it started, we were running late, and then by the time we got to where we were seated, it was right before it started. I don't recall exact time.
Do you recall where you and your family were positioned along the parade route that evening?
At the time, I don't remember, but I later found out that it was the Historical Society.
What do you recall weather-wise that evening? Was it a pretty chilly evening?
Yes.
If you recall?
Yes.
Pretty windy?
Yes.
So I'm assuming at some point you observed a bit of commotion. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
And do you recall what that commotion was?
Everyone running around was the biggest commotion.
At that point, did the area you were positioned in get pretty loud, chaotic?
Yeah, screaming gets loud.
Do you remember what you and your family were doing directly prior to the parade that evening?
I don't recall.
At the point you observed this commotion, what did you do from that point?
Started running.
I'm assuming you and your family all took the same course of action?
We all ran, yes.
And where did you run to?
Away from the parade route. I'm not familiar with streets. I'm thinking it's East Avenue. We ran down that road.
Would that be a side street connected to the main parade route, or
Yes, it was a perpendicular route.
do you recall if that side street was barricaded in any way?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if there were any law enforcement officers stationed at that side street?
I don't recall.
Did you, at any time during the commotion when you and your family were at the parade, do you recall seeing anything that drew your attention in any way?
Yes.
And do you recall what that was that you saw?
A red Ford SUV driving through faster than all the other cars in the parade.
And what did you observe this vehicle doing at the time that it caught your attention?
It was honking. Well, I heard honking. I'm not positive if it was the red SUV or another car alerting.
Did you notice any other vehicles around the vehicle you saw, following the vehicle you saw?
Following, no. It passed a float that had a vehicle in the parade. So it was by another vehicle, yes.
And it was passing the other vehicle you're referring
Yes.
to, correct? And you stated a reference to honking. In your opinion, strictly your opinion, why would a vehicle honk its horn?
To alert somebody.
Do you recall I'm assuming at some point the vehicle passed the position where you were. Would that be fair to say?
Yes.
At any time during the vehicle's passing you, did you see who was driving the vehicle?
No.
Did you notice if they were intents to the vehicle as far as windows?
Ma'am, can you speak up a bit?
Oh, I don't recall.
Thank you.
Do you recall if you were able to see into the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Do you recall if you got a chance to catch the license plate number of the vehicle?
No, I didn't.
And from your recollection, when the vehicle passed you, were the windows up or down?
I don't recall.
And did you at some time report what you saw to law enforcement that evening?
That evening, I did not, no.
Did you at any time report what you had saw that evening to law enforcement?
Yes.
And do you recall what agency that law enforcement officer was from?
I don't recall. I'm going to assume Waukesha, but I don't recall.
And during the course of reporting what you saw, Was it more of a recorded interview, or were they writing down what you were telling them?
I was on the phone, so I don't know what they were doing.
Okay. Do you recall if that was in the days following the incident or a little longer after that?
It was after the incident. I don't know how long after.
Upon arriving at the parade that evening with your family, did you notice any of the side streets barricaded in any way? Any of them?
Yes.
Do you recall if there were law enforcement officers at those barricaded side streets?
I don't recall.
Do you recall about how long the parade had been ongoing before you saw this vehicle?
I don't recall.
And from that point, did you and your family immediately leave the parade and head home, or?
We left. We didn't head home.
Did you or any of your family members suffer any injuries during this incident?
No.
At any time after the incident, do you recall seeing any news reports related to this incident?
Yes.
Did you keep up with those reports, or was it just that evening or the days?
Just a couple days within whatever was right immediately. I'm not a person to watch the news.
And after that initial phone conversation with law enforcement, did any more law enforcement officers follow up with you about the report?
No.
Did you yourself follow up with law enforcement after that
No.
initial report? Did you yourself observe the vehicle that passed you during the parade? Did you yourself witness anyone injured by the vehicle?
I don't believe so.
That's all I have right now.
Thank you. Any cross?
Yes, briefly. Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Reamer. Thank you for being here today.
Yes.
I'd like you to take a look at the man seated to my right, table to your left, Mr. Brooks. You ever seen that man before?
Said to being called that name.
Noted. Overruled.
Yes.
Tell us about when you've seen Mr. Brooks before.
Objection leading.
It's cross-exam, so it's proper. They may lead. You may answer.
As we were driving to the parade, We were coming to a stoplight and we saw the red SUV coming down the wrong way on the road, and I slowed down because the car in front of me started to back up to let him through.
This took place outside of a gas station, is that correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, I'd ask that we display for everybody exhibit number 7. It's previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
Exhibit 7 has previously been received. Overruled.
Is it relevant to this particular witness?
Yes, it is. Yes, go ahead and publish, Madam Clerk.
Mr. Reamer, can you see the map depicted on the screen in front of you?
Yes.
We're looking at the intersection of North Street and Barstow Street. Does that look correct to you?
Yes.
And is this the gas station that we're talking about?
Correct.
And you were parked on North Street facing southwestbound at the time, is that right?
Objection, speculation.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Is that the way of traffic? I don't know.
Well, let's
Correct, so-
assume, based on these arrows here,
Oh.
Objection, speculation.
Yep. They're on the map. Overruled. Her answer was yes, and you may ask the next question.
Madam Clerk, can we please clear the annotations? And you saw the red SUV that we've been talking about come the wrong way on North Street, is that right?
Correct.
And what happened after that?
Should I draw?
Sure, yep, that's a touchscreen, go for it.
So I stopped roughly back here as the car that was here started to reverse this way.
Okay, can we please, let's get a screen grab of this, please, Your Honor, and mark it as Exhibit 7.
It'll be C as in cat. Or Charlie.
C, Charlie, please.
It will be so marked. And just for the record, the green line was placed by Attorney Wichow from, as you're looking at the exhibit, left to right to demonstrate travel of a vehicle in his question. And then the witness put the yellow marks on the screen. And it will be received as 7C as in Charlie. Go ahead.
Objection to relevancy.
Overruled.
You saw Darrell Brooks driving that red SUV in front of that gas station, is that correct?
Objection.
At that time, I didn't know.
Being called that name, and it's speculative.
Overruled. You may answer.
At that time, I didn't know his name, but yes.
But now that you see him sitting in court today,
Yes.
that's the guy.
Yes.
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. The record will reflect the identification of the defendant as the driver of the red SUV she saw as depicted in this exhibit.
Thank you. May we please display for everybody exhibit number 15, which has also previously been received and published.
Go ahead.
Can we zoom in, please, on the intersection of Main Street and Northeast Avenue?
Objection, relevancy.
I presume the question will provide the relevance, so go ahead.
Thank you. You were sitting in front of the Historical Society, you testified?
Yes.
And do you recognize this map in front of you?
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
No, I don't.
Okay. Would the Historical Society be near this intersection that I'm circling, East and Main?
Yes.
Okay, we can please remove that annotation, Madam Clerk. When you saw the red SUV drive by, you testified you could not see the driver, correct?
Correct.
Because it was going so fast?
Yes.
Did you ever see that SUV come to a stop at any point on Main Street?
No.
In fact, did you see it accelerate as it traveled towards more people?
Yes.
Objection, speculative.
Overruled. The witness may answer.
Sound
Yes.
like you was going to say some stuff.
And then I remembered you had called the witness, not the state. So cross-examination is appropriate. Fair enough, though. Next question.
Did we get an answer on that?
I said yes.
Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Redirect, sir.
Yes.
Do you want any of the exhibits up?
I forgot what the one was before this.
7.
7.
7 was the map with near the gas station. This is 15. I'm going to turn it off until you tell me you need something.
I need Exhibit 7.
All right, the state would put that up and we'll publish it for the jury as well.
And when shown this exhibit on cross, you stated you were approximately around. As a matter of fact, that wouldn't be fair. Can you erase that that mark, please?
It's clear.
Were you show again where your vehicle was positioned?
It's just a rough estimate, but
Okay.
probably right about here.
And where we?
That's when I initially slowed down to stop.
Okay. And you stated there was another car that did a backing up motion. Can you show again where that vehicle was positioned?
If they were at the light going this way, backing up.
If you recall, or do you recall, if there were any vehicles in this space right here?
There was none.
Rough estimate, about how far would you estimate the distance is between your vehicle and the vehicle that was at the light? Rough estimate.
I never came to a complete stop back there. It's when I started to slow down.
So you were still kind of rolling forward a little bit?
Yes. Because they backed up and then moved forward. And so then I moved forward.
So you didn't come to a stop until you noticed that vehicle backing up?
No. I didn't come to a complete stop until we were back up at the light. I started to slow down at that point.
So where did you end up? I'm sorry, can you erase the white circle?
I can erase all of it or none of it.
The white circle.
Only, I think it's just all or nothing.
Oh, all. I'm sorry. So let's start this again. Where did you finally come to a complete stop at, if you recall? And at that time, well, back up a little bit before I get to that. You observed an SUV, you say, at some point before you came to a complete stop?
Yes.
And what did you see that vehicle do?
This way?
What did you see it do after you noticed that it was coming in that direction?
Turn in here.
Would that be into the gas station?
Yes.
And what did you see the vehicle do at that point?
Roll down their window and yell something at the car in front of me.
Did it stop?
Yes.
Was it? I'm assuming you might know what I mean by this. Was it like a brake stop or was it a park stop? If you recall.
If you're not in the vehicle, how do you know that they put it in park?
Well, brake stop would be brake lights, but okay.
Objection, move to strike.
Grant that, strike the last statement made by the defendant, but you may ask your next question.
And how long were you at the light?
Just a very short time. It turned green pretty quickly.
And in that short time, you were able to see who was driving the vehicle, the SUV, as you say, that went into the gas station.
Yes.
Is that the same SUV you saw at the parade that evening?
Yes.
The same vehicle that you said you don't recall if it was tinted or not?
Yes.
So at the point of seeing this vehicle at the gas station, at that point, did you notice any tints?
I don't recall.
Did you notice if there was anyone else in the vehicle at that time?
I only saw one person.
Could you see into the back of the vehicle?
I don't recall.
Can you see the passenger seat of the vehicle?
Yes.
Was anybody in the passenger seat?
No.
But you don't know for sure about the back seat.
No, I couldn't see it.
Can we take down this Exhibit 7?
Go ahead.
Can you pull up Exhibit 15? Can we pull that back up?
The state would please pull that up. We'll publish that for everyone.
And,
Hold on, let's make sure the jury has it.
oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. No problem, go ahead.
And you stated that you were in front of the Historical Society.
Correct.
And if I recall, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that would be somewhere around this area here.
Yes.
Sir,
Can
was that a
we,
yes?
Yes.
Okay, thank
Can
you.
we erase that white? So the side streets, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to tap the screen. Can you erase that? I'm sorry. The side streets would be Buckley Street and Northeast Avenue. Would that be fair to say by looking at the map?
Yes, that's what the map shows.
And you said you don't recall if those side streets were barricaded.
I wasn't at the intersection. The
You were-
Historical Society is at that intersection, but I was in front of the Historical Society.
So would it be fair to say you were close to the side street?
I was close, but not at it, so I don't know if there was barricades there. I wasn't close enough to see to be by barricades.
So you stated you ran away from the commotion, so it would be fair to say at some point you moved from your position in front of the Historical Society, correct?
Correct.
And do you recall what side street you went down to when you were running?
We ran up to the building of the Historical Society on the side of East Avenue.
We can, just really quick. So that would be this side street here.
Yes.
We could take down exhibit, is it 15? And you stated that you knew the identification of the driver of this SUV based on what you observed at the gas station, correct?
Can you repeat that?
You stated that you... Let me back up. You were able to identify the driver of this SUV based on what you observed at the gas station, correct?
The gas station, I saw the driver, yes.
Do you recall what the driver was wearing when you observed him at the gas station?
At the gas station, no.
Do you yourself recall in your telephone conversation with law enforcement stating that the driver was wearing a red-orange shirt?
That was not from the gas station.
So where would that description come from, if not the gas station?
I saw video footage of you in somebody's backyard.
So what did you observe the driver of the vehicle wearing at the gas station?
I don't recall.
So it'd be fair to say that in your phone conversation with law enforcement, you gave a description based on what you had seen from footage. I guess that would be the right word to use.
The shirt color, but your description was from the face was from the gas station.
And do you recall in that phone interview stating that you weren't positive on the shirt color?
Yes.
Do you recall in that phone interview stating that since seeing the news that you may be getting the clothing description incorrect?
I remember saying that I've seen the news. I don't remember saying that that is why I'm getting it. It wasn't the same as when you were driving.
So would it be fair to say that your description came from watching footage at some point and from news reports at some point?
Not news reports.
But you did see this incident reported on the news?
Yes.
Did you see where the vehicle? Did you see where the vehicle went when it passed your position?
Objection. Can we just clarify whether that's at the gas station or the parade?
Sustained.
Sorry for that. I'll clarify.
Thank you.
Do you recall seeing where the vehicle went when it passed your position at the parade that evening?
Continued down the parade route.
And you already stated that during the parade, seeing the vehicle and not seeing the driver, how are you sure that that driver of the vehicle you saw at the gas station was the same vehicle at the parade?
I know that they were both red SUVs, Ford SUVs.
Were you yourself sure that they were the same vehicle?
They were the same model, same color, same make.
So what is the make and model, if you recall, of the vehicle that you saw at the gas station?
Ford Escape.
And how did you come to that determination based on your observation at the gas station?
Because I know a decent amount of cars.
What do you mean by decent?
I mean, I don't know all makes, but I know this one for sure because I had a friend that had the same exact make and model. just different color.
So are you yourself able to just look at a vehicle and tell the make and model?
Some, yes.
So it'd be fair to say some, not all.
Correct.
So that brings me back to the driver. You stated you didn't see the driver of the vehicle you saw at the parade. How do you know there was the same driver?
Objection. The state's the evidence. She never testified that she knows it's the same guy.
Sustained.
I'm asking how did you?
Rephrase your question, please.
Do you know if it was the same driver?
No.
No further questions?
All right, thank you. You may step down. And you are excused from your subpoena. It is 4:34, so we will end for the day. And I will read my instructions to you. The jury, once again, do not begin your deliberations and discussion of the case until all the evidence is presented, and I have instructed you on the law. Do not discuss this case among yourselves or with anyone else until your final deliberations in the jury room. This order is not limited to face-to-face conversations. It also extends to all forms of electronic communications. Do not use any electronic devices such as a mobile phone or computer, text or instant messaging, or social networking sites to send or receive any information about this case or your experience as a juror. If you come in contact with the parties, lawyers, interpreters, or witnesses, do not speak with them. For their part, the parties, lawyers, interpreters, and witnesses will not contact or speak with the jurors. Do not listen to any conversation about this case. Do not research any information that you personally think might be helpful to you in understanding the issues presented. Do not investigate this case on your own or visit the scene, either in person or by electronic means. Do not read any newspaper reports or listen to any news reports on radio, television, over the internet, or any other electronic application or tool about this trial. Do not consult dictionaries, computers, electronic applications, social media, the internet, or other reference materials for additional information. Do not seek information regarding the public records of any party or witness in this case. Any information you obtain outside the courtroom could be misleading, inaccurate, or incomplete. Relying on this information is unfair because the parties would not have the opportunity to refute, explain, or correct it. Do not communicate with anyone about this trial or your experience as a juror while you are serving on this jury. Do not use a computer, cell phone, or other electronic device, including personal wearable electronics, applications, or tools with communication capabilities to send any information about this case. For example, do not communicate by telephone, blog post, email message, text message, instant message, social media post, or in any other way on or off the computer. Do not permit anyone to communicate with you about this matter, either in person, electronically, or by any other means. I appreciate that it is tempting when you go home in the evening to discuss this case with another member of your household, but you may not do so. This case must be decided by you, the jurors, based on the evidence presented in the courtroom. People not serving on this jury have not heard the evidence, and it is improper for them to influence your deliberations and decision in this case. After this trial is completed, you are free to communicate with anyone in any manner. These rules are intended to assure that jurors remain impartial throughout the trial. If any juror has any reason to believe that another juror has violated these rules, you should report that to me. If jurors do not comply with these rules, it could result in a new trial involving additional time and significant expense to the parties and the taxpayers. You are to decide the case solely on the evidence offered and received at trial. With that, we'll see you all tomorrow morning. We'll begin at 8:30. All rise for the jury.